Stop. Before you do anything else, you need to know about VOO. All right, listen to me. I see you. You're working hard, you're paying your bills, and you're trying to get ahead. But you look at the stock market, and it feels like a private club you weren't invited to. It's confusing, it's intimidating. And you're afraid of making a mistake and losing your hard-earned money, I get it. But what if I told you there was a way for you to own a piece of the 500 largest, most successful companies in America with a single click? What if you could do it easily, cheaply, and without having to become a Wall Street genius? You can. And the way you do it is with something called VOO. It is time for you to be strong, smart, and secure. VOO is an exchange-traded fund, or ETF. Think of it like a basket. But instead of holding apples and oranges, this basket holds tiny little pieces of 500 giant American companies. I'm talking about the big names you know and use every single day: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. When you buy one share of VOO, you are instantly buying a tiny slice of all of those companies at once. It is the simplest, most straightforward way for you to participate in the growth of the American economy. You are no longer just a consumer of these companies. You become an owner. That is a powerful shift in your financial life, and it is a shift you must make. So many people are paralyzed by fear. They think investing is like gambling in Las Vegas. They think they have to pick the one hot stock that's going to the moon. That is a fool's game, and it is a game you will lose. The smartest people I know do not play that game. They invest, and VOO allows you to invest, not gamble. Stop making excuses and start making moves. This is your wake-up call. Today, August 26, 2025, is the day you stop being a bystander in your own financial life. You are going to learn what VOO is. You are going to understand why it is one of the most powerful tools you can use to build a secure future for yourself and your family. Then let's get started, because you cannot afford to wait another day. Let's break this down so there is absolutely no confusion. First, what is an ETF? An ETF, Exchange Traded Fund, is a type of investment you can buy and sell on a stock exchange, just like a single stock. But here is the magic. Unlike a single stock, ownership in one company, an ETF holds a collection of many different stocks, bonds, or other assets. Remember the basket analogy? That's an ETF. One single thing you can buy, the basket, but it contains many different items inside. Instant diversification. Now, what is the S&P 500? The Standard & Poor's 500, simply a list. The 500 largest publicly traded U.S. companies, chosen by a committee based on size, financial health, and how much stock is available to the public. Think of it as the market's all-star team: technology, healthcare, finance, consumer goods, and more. You name it. When news anchors say the market was up today, they're usually talking about the performance of the S&P 500. It's the benchmark for U.S. market health. Put these together: the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, ticker VOO. VOO is the basket built to hold all 500 S&P stocks. It doesn't try to be clever. It doesn't pick winners and losers. Its only job: mirror the S&P 500. If the S&P goes up 1%, your VOO shares go up about 1%, minus a tiny, tiny fee. If the index goes down, so does VOO. Simple, transparent, powerful. It ties you to America's corporate giants. Why is this so important for you? Because it removes the guesswork. No hours researching hundreds of companies. No stress about picking one technology or healthcare stock. By buying VOO, you believe the biggest U.S. companies will grow long-term. Historically, that's been one of the safest, most reliable bets. Built on logic and history, not hype and emotion. And that's the only way you should ever invest your money. So how does owning this basket actually put money in your pocket? There are two primary ways VOO helps you build wealth. The first, and most significant, is through capital appreciation. Capital appreciation. You buy a share today for, let's say, $500. Over the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, as the 500 companies innovate and grow their businesses and increase their profits, the overall value of the S&P 500 index tends to rise. Consequently, the price of your VOO share also rises. If that share is worth $1,500 in the future, you have a $1,000 capital gain. This is how you build serious long-term wealth. The second way you make money is through dividends. Dividends are your reward for being an owner. Many large companies in the S&P 500 like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, are so profitable they share a portion of profits with shareholders. Since VOO owns shares in these companies, it collects those dividends and passes them on to you, typically quarterly. It's like getting a small, regular paycheck for owning your investment. When you receive dividends, you can take the cash, or, smarter, reinvest them automatically. This is called a DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment Plan. Reinvested shares earn their own dividends. It creates a snowball effect, compounding financial discipline on autopilot. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's get rich slowly and surely. The value of VOO will go up and it will go down. Some years will be fantastic and some years will be painful. But history shows the overall trend is upward. By buying VOO, holding through the good times and the bad, and reinvesting dividends, you harness the long-term growth engine of the U.S. economy. You let the 500 best-run companies work for you day and night. That is the smartest way to play the game. Let's talk turkey. No investment is perfect. You need to walk into this with your eyes wide open. First, the good. Benefits and risks at a glance. The biggest benefit of VOO is instant diversification. I cannot say this enough. If you buy one single company and it goes bankrupt, you lose everything. Poof, all gone. But with VOO, you own 500 companies. The other 498 companies balance things out. This diversification is your number one defense. The second major benefit is the incredibly low cost. VOO's expense ratio is astonishingly low, 0.03%. That means for every $10,000 invested, you pay about $3 a year, less than a cup of fancy coffee. Keeping costs low maximizes long-term returns. High fees are a guaranteed loss. Low fees are a guaranteed win. The third benefit is ease and accessibility. You buy or sell VOO through any standard brokerage. It's simple, liquid, transparent. And that is a beautiful thing. Now for the bad and the ugly. The primary risk is market risk. This is non-negotiable. If the entire stock market goes down, the value of your VOO shares will go down too. There will be recessions. There will be market crashes. That is a fact of life. You cannot avoid it. If you panic and sell when the market is down, you will lock in your losses. This is the biggest mistake investors make. Also remember, returns are not guaranteed. While history shows an upward trend, there is no law that says it must. You're taking a calculated risk. Be mentally prepared for downturns to reap long-term rewards. All right, enough talk. It's time for action. Buying your first share of VOO is easier than ordering a pizza online. I am going to walk you through it step by step. First things first, you need a place to buy it. Open a brokerage account. Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. You can open an account online in about 15 minutes. You'll need your social security number and bank info to link funding. Do not be intimidated. It's a simple, secure process. Once approved, fund the account. Move money from your bank into brokerage via ACH. How much should you start with? You could start with $500, $1,000, or even less with fractional shares. Some brokerages allow fractional shares. You can start with as little as $5 or $10. The important thing is to start. The most important thing is the act of starting. You must get in the game. Log in. In the search bar, type the ticker, VOO. Click the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. VOO. Click Trade or Buy. Enter quantity and order type. For most beginners, choose Market Order. Execute it at the best available price. Review your order and click Submit. Congratulations! You did it. You are officially an investor. Within moments, you'll see VOO in your holdings. Take a moment to let that sink in. Now make this a habit. Set up recurring contributions. This is how wealth is built. Listen closely. Buying VOO is the first step. How you behave will determine your success. My first and most important tip: automate everything. Don't rely on memory or willpower. Set automatic transfers from your bank to brokerage, weekly or monthly. This is dollar cost averaging. When the market is high, your fixed amount buys fewer shares. When low, it buys more. It smooths your purchase price over time. More importantly, it forces you to buy when prices are down, exactly when you should be buying. My second tip: do not look at your account every day. I forbid it. Staring at your balance will drive you crazy. The market fluctuates. That's its nature. It's like a tide. If you watch constantly, you'll be tempted to react emotionally. You'll be tempted to sell when things look scary. That's how you lose money. Once your automatic plan is set, have the discipline to let it work. Check in once a quarter or once a year, not daily. Third, have a long-term mindset. I'm not talking 1 or 2 years. Think decades. Not 1 year, not 2 years. 10, 20, 30 years or more. You're planting a financial tree. You water it consistently and give it decades to grow. Finally, secure your financial foundation first. Be out of credit card debt and have an 8 to 12-month emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. The stock market is for your long-term goals, not emergency money. Secure your foundation first, then build with VOO, period. So here we are. We have talked about what VOO is, how it works, its benefits, and its risks. The bottom line is this. For the vast majority of people who want to build wealth for retirement, their children's future, or financial freedom, investing in a low-cost S&P 500 ETF like VOO is the single smartest and simplest thing you can do. It is powerful, dignified, intelligent. You are not trying to outsmart the market. You are becoming the market. Think about the alternatives. Pick individual stocks, a game even professionals struggle to win. Pay high-fee advisors, or sit on the sidelines while inflation eats your cash. Or you can buy a piece of the 500 best companies, keep costs almost zero, and let compounding do the heavy lifting. This is not just about money, it's about empowerment, about taking a stand and saying, I am worthy of a secure financial future. On August 26, 2025, you can do this. You have the knowledge and the tools. Open the account, transfer the funds, buy that first share, set up automatic investments, then have the patience and discipline to let your plan work. Don't let anyone tell you you're not smart enough or rich enough to be an investor. That's a lie. With VOO, you have everything you need to build the wealthy, secure life you deserve. Now go, be strong, and take action. If this helped, hit subscribe, enable notifications, and start today.